Welcome to the Today Show. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. Welcome to a special edition as I'm stepping in for our regular host, Lori Davis, as she's out there slaying the dragons out in Alberta. Big props to the firemen and firewomen out there at Jasper. Prayers. Wow, what a disaster out there. So our hearts go out to Alberta and the people fighting the fire. So wow, this is just devastating. So again, I'm Jay Stoyan. I'm stepping in for Lori Davis today, Dr. Lori Davis, as she is the host of the Today Show. And we're really excited as we have on from Seattle. From the West Coast, we have on from the BrandiWyneBand, we have on Brandi, the lead singer. She's very excited. We're really excited because she's a dynamo. She's a rock star. And in the second half hour, we might have a special guest on, but we're going to keep it open right now. So we're looking for a second guest. She's out there in the clouds somewhere, so we're going to see if we can find her. Again, we're downtown Toronto. You're at our studio, our live studio, so you might see people passing behind me as we speak. Again, we're down at Christie and Bloor in the heart of Toronto, the best city in the world, I would say. Again, you're watching the Today Show. When we come back, we're going to come back with Brandi. Now, Brandi's the lead singer from BrandiWyneBand. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Today Show. Back to the show. Wow, we'd like to welcome. Look at that backdrop, Brandi. Wow, you went all out. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so much fun to be here.
This is great. Now, I know Seattle, so it's a little early for a rock star to get up, so we really appreciate. What time is it? 8 o'clock there, right?
Coffee, yes, 8 a.m.
You got your coffee. So tell us a little bit about where you're located and what's going on in Seattle these days. I'm sure our viewers would love to know.
Oh, yeah, of course. So yeah, as you said, I'm in the Seattle area. My band hails from both north and south of Seattle, so depending on how you want to group us. Right now, we are in the height of festival season, so we've been playing lots of outdoor concerts and getting a tan while doing it, because this is the only 3 months we get any sunshine here. And getting ready for our big benefit concert that's going to be coming up in November, and the ISSA Awards that we're going to be performing in at the end of the month.
Wow, you are really busy. Just to let you know, right now we are live on our Facebook page, so you should be telling all your fans that this is going out live, and I can see already our page is blowing up. So this is great. So tell us a little bit about your genre, about what type of music you sing, and then I'm going to ask you a ton more questions because I love music. So
no, that's the trick question. So I was told a long time ago that genre, you can't really define that. It's what other people choose to call you. And we've been adopted into multiple genres. I like to say that we're rock. That's pretty much what we always are at the core. But we've been getting plays on country stations. We've been getting plays on pop stations. We've won a few awards. So we've won awards for Best Pop Band and Best Alternative Rock Song. So take your pick. We're non-exclusive. Anyone who wants to be a part of our family, we welcome with open arms.
Now, I know you're the lead singer of the band, which is, obviously it's the most prestige, the most sort of spotlight. How do you feel about being a lead singer of your band? Like, tell me some insight. Like, does it make you feel good? Are you nervous a little bit about maybe letting the members of the band down, or you get a little bit ego-headed? Like, tell us how you handle that. How do you deal with that?
So I'm kind of a weird singer. I actually hate the sound of my own voice. So the big head thing probably won't happen as much, only because I cringe having to listen to my own things. But it's kind of stressful. You always worry. You don't want to let anybody down. As a frontman, as they used to say, or the lead singer, it's kind of your job to try and carry the weight. Typically, it's kind of split between me and our lead guitarist. Because obviously, the guitarist is always the cool person in the band, and somebody looks for them too. And since I don't typically play when I perform, he carries kind of the weight of that. But luckily, my group, everybody is so laid back and so nice. and they're all professionals by nature. So they, understand the business. And we always have a running joke that anything that can go wrong in live music will. So you just have to be prepared for that and ready to let it roll off your back and, keep going and just have fun with it. And as long as you're enjoying yourself, everybody else enjoys themselves too.
That's great. Let me ask you probably the most important question. Now, being the lead singer of the band, and I believe you said that when you're on stage, you focus just on the vocals. Am I correct?
Vocals and stage presence, yeah.
Yeah,
I try.
So here's the most important question. Do you help load and unload?
Of course.
I
mean, that microphone weighs a lot. No, I'm joking. I actually store and help transport our drum kit. And then when we do need it, I also have a smaller PA that I'll bring to and from. I have banners and most of the merch here that I bring in because I know the other guys have so much else that they have to do. So I do try to help with that as much as I can. The guitarists, they have all their plethora of pedals and wires and cables, and our drummer, he needs a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to set up the drums. And so I
have a lot of respect and a lot of warmth for drummers. Like, oh my God, because I know a lot of drummers, and they're going, I wish the lead singer would at least help once in a while. Like, oh my goodness, like, come on.
Yeah.
So you hear that sometimes.
Don't. Well, our running joke with drummers used to be that at least we don't have to worry about them forgetting the key. Until one day I saw our drummer actually doing something with the skins on the drums. And I was like, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm tuning them. I'm like, wait, you actually tune those? He's like, yeah, the snare has to be tuned a certain way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well, I can't tease you anymore then.
See, that's inside baseball that people don't know. You got to tune it all. Just because you set it up, you have to tune it. Let me ask you this. Again, I love this because you're the lead singer now. I just watched the Nickelback documentary. Like, I like Nickelback. I think they got fabulous hits. I know they got, they get bashed all the time, but there was a time when you turned on the radio and all you heard was Nickelback, right?
Fair.
I don't think that's their fault, right?
No.
But I was watching Chad Kroeger, and he was talking about how he said, you know what, everybody just thinks we made it. We did, we cross-country tours in a van we made, like cross-country tour, sleeping in a van, not making any money, playing in front of 12 people, blah, blah, blah. But what I want to ask you is, because he said that as they started to make it big, he said that if he didn't have his brother in the band to help him keep him grounded, it could have been trouble. And I think that not only for Chad, but I think for every lead singer, because like you said, you're in the spotlight, David Lee Roth, like it's all about the singer, right? So when you're making it big, because I know you're making it big, how are you going to keep your ego in check?
Oh yeah, diva complex is definitely a real thing. I've met people who haven't made it that have that problem just because they can sing. How I try to stay grounded is, besides the fact that I have my 2 children, my daughter is 13. So I always try to make sure anything I'm doing, however I'm behaving, is never going to be something that I'm going to be embarrassed later that she sees or hears.
Nice.
I want to be a good role model.
How about your son? How old is your son?
He is 15.
15. So, okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk dynamics there. So what do they think about their mom being in a rock and roll band? What do they say?
There's mixed opinions. They've been coming and watching me perform for years. So they know most of my material. My daughter sings half of my songs.
Does she?
Yeah, she knows. So I'll be practicing, and she'll just barge in and start singing.
Is that her next step too? Perhaps does she want to do that?
No. So I did expose her to it. We wrote a song together. We brought her in studio. She got to do some vocals. After seeing the entire process, I think she is leaning more towards the musical theater side of things.
Nice.
With the explanation being that what you see is what you get.
Okay.
So, you start a song and it starts off one way, and by the time you're finished, it kind of morphs into something else when you're working with producers and managers and, band.
What does your son say? Because that's a different dynamic, right? Mom, take it easy.
completely different personalities. My daughter is very much a performer and loves theater and loves being out there with people. My son is more introverted, and he is our techie child. So he's been creating video games since he was 8. We did try him on instruments. He played drums, he played piano. I tried violin. None of it really stuck with him. So he thinks
Maybe
it's cool, but he's just kind of like, whatever. As long as I can bring my iPad, we're good.
if he's a tech guy, maybe there's a future of a sound engineer in there somewhere.
Hoping, or
Hey,
lighting, special effects, something.
yeah.
I mean, he could definitely contribute, but yeah, he doesn't really like being the center of attention. So he's someone that wants to hide in the back, but he
Backstage.
loves supporting other people.
That's great. Okay, what we're gonna take a quick break. On the show today, we have the lead singer from BrandiWyneBand. She tells us all about her career, all about her family, all about the band. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about inspiration and a little bit about your writing skills and who you write with, and this and that. So stay tuned. You're watching the Today Show. We'll be right back with Brandi from the BrandiWyneBand.
Friends, it's an absolute pleasure to send greetings as you gather for this fantastic fundraiser in support of the Disability Channel and Legion 60. Thanks to everyone involved for the important work you do for our veterans and people with disabilities. You're supporting them as they gain valuable work experience and helping build a stronger Ontario for everyone. You're all absolute champions. Your generosity is greatly appreciated, and I hope you have a fantastic event.
Hi, this is Doug Smith, and you're watching the Disability Channel Showcasing Abilities.
Welcome back to the show. On the show today, we have lead singer from the BrandiWyneBand. So, Brandi, with the band, obviously your name is Brandi. Is that how you came up with the band? Like, you know what I mean? How'd you come up with the band's name?
Brandi, it's actually BrandiWyne, but yes, it does.
Wine, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It looks like it's
I'm sorry.
BrandiWyne, and it is said that way 90% of the time. So
maybe because I'm Canadian, I'm from Toronto, so
That's all right. It's not, honestly, it's not that big a deal. But it's a moniker that actually I've been using since I started writing music back in about 2001.
Okay.
And then as I started writing and producing music, I realized I needed to be able to perform live, and began forming a band actually around the moniker, and then started performing in the Pacific Northwest.
That's great. Wow. So let's talk a little bit about writing skills, your inspiration. Now, do you write the songs yourself, or is it a team effort? How do you guys come up with the finished product?
It's a mix. We have, some of them I have written myself. Some I have partnered with other producers, other writers. Some the entire band has sat in together and helped write. We're actually working on a song currently called A Dance for Two that our lead guitarist wrote. And but again, it starts one way and it starts to morph. And so we're figuring out all the fun little details with that. And yeah.
Let me ask you this. So when you guys do, like when you're writing and you're doing the bridge, right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever take your songs in a different genre? And the best example I could give would be like Led Zeppelin, the way like, the way they go fast and slow and then they sort of change it up a bit. Do you ever do that with any of your songs, go in a totally different direction after the bridge or something like that?
Not too much. I mean, some of our bridges are sometimes a little faster or a little slower, but the genre typically stays the same, or the feel stays the same throughout the entire song. Now, going from song A to song B, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But as far as the feel of the music, we try to keep it as close as we can, just
like,
so there's some consistency.
Like "Fool on the Hill," right? From with Zeppelin or whatever. Like the way they do it. Yeah, like it's just the way. I love the way they can change it up, and there's so many other bands who do that. So let me ask you a little bit about your song recipe without giving away the goods. So, is there a formula that you kind of follow, or is it sort of open ended?
I'm kind of an old school writer, so I love writing songs that have a story. So
Okay.
typically that's how I start it. I will write down what it is I want the song to portray or what I want it to tell. And then I go back and look at the elements and break them down and start thinking of all the different ways that that could be said, or could be portrayed in the song. And just, it kind of grows from there.
Do you ever use the rhyming technique?
What is
You
the
know,
rhyme?
like I think every second or third line, if you put a rhyme in there, so
Oh,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
yeah,
use a 2/4 cadence in
yeah.
most of my songs. So yeah, usually it's a 2/4 cadence. We've tried doing the every line thing, and it's just I don't know. I guess I'm not that smart. I ran out of lines too fast. So
That well, because I'm also a little bit of a songwriter, so that's what I do. I find I'm a rhymer, so and I mix in the story after the rhyme. Like I find the right word, I guess, to sort of build the song around,
hmm
and then I start my rhymes, and then I create the story. It's almost like organic, because I don't even know what I'm doing. Like it just happens. I just, you know what I mean. I have a subject that I want to write about, then um, I kind of look at other like I really look at the Eagles when I look to write songs. I look at the Eagles, their format. I really like how they do it, and then I sort of just steal and insert my own idea. How about some of your own inspirations now in the music industry? Who are they?
musical influences. Oh my gosh, everybody and anybody. Um,
Top
so
three. Top three.
top three. Well, Aretha Franklin was my first and probably my strongest influence. I grew up listening to her, and she was the kind of like the sound, the soul that I wanted to be able to embed in my
Now,
music.
how come Aretha? Were you introduced to her at a young age through your family, or?
So how I learned to sing was probably not what would be considered typical. Myself and a close friend of mine who also ended up going into music when we were very young, we were at a park near where we lived, because back then it was okay for kids to just kind of take off and wander. And there was a group of gentlemen that were there that were singing. I now know they were like a barbershop quartet type deal.
Okay.
But we would sneak out because they would meet twice a week in the same park at the same time, and we would like hide in the bushes and would listen to them.
Really?
And finally,
hide in the bushes.
Yeah, well, because we didn't want to interrupt them, and I literally, I was like 4 or 5 years old, like I should not have been out by myself. But finally, one of these days, they were like, "Hey, you know, you've been hiding around here quite a bit. Do you want to come over?" And we were like, "Huh?" He goes, "Do you know how to sing?" And we were both like, "No."
Wow.
He's like, "Okay, well, let's show you." And so they actually used to teach us parts, and they did a lot of old Motown. So that was my first exposure, kind of, to that whole scenario.
That's a great story.
How to sing. Yeah, although, you know, nowadays if someone told that, I'm pretty sure CPA would come.
Yeah.
But, again, different era, different things were acceptable.
So Aretha, who else?
So Aretha is probably number one. Pink is a huge influence for me. I followed her since the beginning of her career.
How is she feeling? Because she got sick a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope she's
Yeah,
okay.
it's stressful, and you know, she's a mom and she tours, and
Yeah, I hope she's okay, because I heard she had to cancel a couple of shows, and that's just going back a little bit. So maybe she's fine now. I don't know. But
yeah, no, she's still, you know, trying to recover and get around all this. Again, going back to the staying grounded and the stress and everything from it, it does take its toll, you know. And this woman gives huge productions. I mean, she does trapeze work, flame work, water work. It's like anything it's like a production of when you go to her show. So yeah, she's another level. So she's kind of one of my influences. One, because she did what she wanted, even though that wasn't necessarily what other people wanted from her. And her stage presence. Like if I could somehow embed and incorporate at least 2% of what she does, I would be over the moon.
So let me ask you this. So you said, okay, so Aretha in Pink. Now, do you have a favorite band, or are they your favorites also? Or you use them for more inspiration? Like who do you like music-wise?
Music-wise, again, I listen to a little bit of everything. I think there's just something from every genre that can be pulled. The only thing I would say I don't listen to and I've never really cared for is like the hardcore gangster rap stuff.
Okay.
But outside of that, and I could never pull that off anyway. So,
See, I like the early gangster rap, like NWA and Ice Cube and like Public Enemy and Grandmaster Flash.
My little sister was a huge Tupac fan.
Yeah. I'm not much Tupac. Tupac was past my time. I was more in the early. I was like in the early '80s with Sugar Hill, like the Sugar Hill band, like when it started with Grandmaster Flash and Eazy-E, and way back. On the show today we have Brandi from Brandi. What is it? Wine Band. There you go, BrandiWyneBand. So, Brandi, if people want to find out more information, where can they go? And I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to get one more special question. But before we go to commercial break, where could they go to find out more information on your band?
So the easiest way is going to our website, which is www.brandiwynemusic.com, and that's BrandiWyne music.com. Or you can go to the Big Records .world site and look under their artist page. So, and they'll have a little link to all of our streams and our music and some fun little information about us.
Okay, before I let you go, I was going to take a quick break, but I'm going to mix it up. So before I let you go, name the best thing you like about a live performance. One thing that you like about doing a live performance. What is it?
Probably seeing the people's emotions or their faces when you perform, getting to see how the different songs affect them and how they react. I think that really hits it home. It really drives into your heart, like that you're doing something good and that you're actually affecting other people. And it's not just, something selfish that you're doing for yourself, because it's amazing and it's fun, but to know you're helping others too.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Thanks, Brandi. Have a great day. We'll have you back on the show. All right. Stay tuned, and I'm going to come back and wrap the show. I'm Jay Stoyan. You're watching the Today Show. We'll see you next time, Brandi.
Not made for standing still. Seems like where I'm bound is always over one more hill. And I'll go the extra mile for you even when the going's hard. God gave me a trucker's heart. Hey, this is Marie Norris. You're watching the Disability Channel, showcasing ability.
Back to the show. Now I'm just getting texts as we speak here, so I'm not sure if okay. Yeah, I thought we were going to have our second guest on, but it doesn't look like we're going to. So I'm just going to do a couple updates if I can. So do check out our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca, as we have new programs and employment and media going right now. And you can enroll 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, online, in studio, get a job, get a skill, get a certificate, and then maybe we'll hire you at the channel or we'll outsource you. Also, I want to just give a couple updates regarding our mini music tour. So it is looking pretty good. We do have our October 12th fundraiser confirmed in Burlington at Kerrigan Arms. Great little Irish pub right in the heart of Burlington. Then we also have February 2nd penciled in out in British Columbia. We'll be providing more details. We might have a location in Ottawa, and then we might have another location in Toronto. So it's very exciting. Again, we're down here at the Disability Channel in Toronto, Canada, Artscape, Witchwood Barns. I want to give a big shout out to Big Records. There you got a fabulous list of musicians. You've been seeing them all over our Facebook page as they're big supporters of veterans. We really appreciate that. If you want to be a guest on our show or just ask a question or subscribe or whatever, give us a call. Go on our Facebook page. You're watching the Today Show. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll see you next time.